G'day, Jingo here again. We've been travelling around Australia for a few months and stopping off and catching up with people, sitting around the campfire, telling a few yarns and some poems. I got another little poem here that I wrote a while ago, and this one's called Gone Fishing. Bluey and I love fishing, it's just what good mates do. So here's a little story, some of which is true. We were heading to Inaminka up on the Cooper Creek. The yellow bellies were biting and we thought we'd stay about a week. We only got to Lyndhurst, where we stopped to have a drink. Probably had the odd one or two or three, I think. See, we'd left home on the Saturday so that Sunday week we'd be back. But here it was on Tuesday and we hadn't seen the Strezzy track. We loaded up the Toyo with fishing gear and swags, and round our hats we put our nets. Bluey said we looked like dags. But up here where the fishermen never turn to lies, the sky sometimes goes black at noon when something stirs the flies. They're up your nose and in your ears, they hang around your eyes. There's nothing quite as pesky as a million bloody flies. We hadn't travelled very far, just Monte Kalana Bore, when Bluey said, "Hey Jingo, we better stop once more. My thirst is nearly killing me. Let's stop and have a drink. We'll only be a little while, about an hour I think." Well, one thing led to another, and soon the day was done. I'd probably felt much better if we'd only had the one. We cooked a meal of steak and spuds and drank a little rum, and then we crawled into our swags till the rising of the sun. Wednesday morning we left the Bore and headed up the track. If we didn't get a hurry on, it'd be time that we were back. Well, we got to Murty and we tossed a coin to see if we'd go up past Moomba or take the old Strzelecki. The Queen's Head ended upwards and thus our fate was sealed. We climbed back in the Toyo and up the Moomba wheeled. We hadn't gone so very far when Wilbur came in view. When you meet a mate along the track, what's a fella meant to do? You see, Wilbur runs the road gang, about a dozen men who grade and roll the roadway for 18 days on end. "It's a thirsty job," said Wilbur, "with lots of time to think. When the 18 days are over, it's good to have a drink." We sat and had a beer or two. We had a little chat. In fact, for all of Wednesday, we sat and chewed the fat. Religion and politics, the breaking of the drought. Bluey and Wilbur and I sorted most of the problems out. We have even had the answer to all the flies about of late. 'Twas the travellers down from Queensland who didn't shut the gate. Well, Thursday saw us nearing the mighty Cooper Creek. We hadn't even got there, we'd been on the road almost a week. The town of Inaminka was just across the hill, when suddenly beside the road appeared a mighty drill. Bluey said, "God, look at that, I wonder what it's for." I said, "Let's stop and ask them and then we'll know for sure." We found the boss and quizzed him, but his answer was a shock. It wasn't gas or oil or water, but geothermal rock. Well, this took some understanding. It made us stop and think. In fact, we camped beside the road and had another drink. Well, Bluey shook me violently. "Wake up, we'd better go. It's Friday morning, Jingo. We're not there yet, you know." Well, we pulled up at the trading post in a mighty cloud of dust and went to see the ranger. A permit is a must. But found it was his birthday. He's only one that year. So reluctantly went to the pub to buy the bloke a beer. Well, lunchtime rendered dinner, then we thought we'd better stay. We hadn't started fishing, that could wait another day. On Saturday we got up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Then came the realisation that our fishing trip had failed. We'd spent a week just getting here, which really was a pity, for we'd have to leave tomorrow to be Sunday in the city. We packed our gear into the Toyo and headed down the track. It'd probably be a month or two till Bluey and I'd get back.